Oh yeah, what do we have today? A nice reminder that you can't deposit excuses. Yeah. So, the title, I'm going to be straight up with you, was a little bit misleading. I'm talking about why myself, Andrew, and Tristan Tate was attacked by the Matrix and saying that your next isn't 100% accurate. It's accurate, but 100% is better than 90 or 85%, right? Well, the truth is, you were attacked first by the Matrix. See, I put that there as something that was kind of interesting to grab your attention, something that was a little bit dramatized, if you will. They try to devalue you as a man. If you see commercials or sitcoms, the chick is solving everything, the dude is a dumbass. So for instance, I literally just saw this yesterday while watching YouTube. It was an internet commercial. There's a woman, man sitting in the car, kids in the back seat. She's trying to get internet on a tablet for her kid, and there's no internet coming through. So she looks at the kid. The kid's like, why no internet? And she's like, ask your dad. He went with T-Mobile, whatever internet, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes on to say, don't worry, mommy will fix it when we get home. What? Now, see, this isn't that big of a deal if there's commercials where, the man is fixing things that maybe his wife fucked up. Can you imagine for a second this scenario? It's Christmas Eve. Everybody's getting ready for the next day. You get to watch it as like the snow falls on the home and the moon is setting and the sun's coming up, all that good shit. And then it's Christmas morning. All the lights on, everything's nice. There's fresh baked cookies that Santa didn't eat for whatever reason. But there's no presents under the tree. The kid runs over, super happy, expecting to see presents. There's nothing there. The kid looks over at Dad and goes, Dad, what happened to my Christmas presents? He's like, hey, I don't know, Junior. You have to ask Mom. She went on a shopping spree right before Christmas. But don't worry. I just downloaded this new budgeting app. We shouldn't have this problem anymore. Where's that commercial? It doesn't exist because they're trying to brainwash you. But not just you. They want to get your kids too. They're going into your kids' schools trying to tell them that there's more than two genders. They're going into your kids' school telling them they can pick whatever gender they want. They are literally trying to change your kids to be against you. They're trying to teach them something that you should be teaching them. And not just that, they're trying to teach them something that tribes and civilizations across the centuries have never even thought to mention to a child because it's not true. And they want to make you into the villain if you disagree with their narrative. Trying to convince you as well that there's more than two genders. There's a slew of things they're trying to make you do and make you believe to make you into even more of a bigger idiot than you already are. And some of you are pretty big fucking idiots, so that's a huge statement. So, when I said that they came after myself, Andrew and Tristan, and others as well, obviously, they did, just not first. See, me? I'm God Connecticut. I'm goddamn uncancelable. You can't cancel God Connecticut. How do you even go about canceling a God? You can't. You don't. That's not how it works. Now, the main reason why is because I don't pretend to be something I'm not. I'm an absolute God of a man. Or a man of a God. I guess it just depends how you look at it, right? The point is that when you pretend to be family friendly and then you're not, then they can come for you. See, men aren't family friendly. Men are protectors, viscrators. A real man is the planet's biggest monster. A monster that you want on your side. And that's exactly what I am. See, I enjoy war. I enjoy conflict, debates. I enjoy attacking. I enjoy an absolute gigantic, huge, amazing, unbelievably large pair of boobs. And a nice, firm, round and toned tush that I will grab and slap respectively. And there is no secret. If a girl with a huge rack says that I grabbed her boobs, she's probably telling the truth. And that's just how it is. Like, if a girl is around me, she knows what she's signing up for. And that's because I don't pretend to have girls that are just friends. And neither should you. I mean, what is a girl that's a friend gonna do for me? Huh? Is she going to be able to help me in the ways of being a man? Is she going to be able to advise me in my business? Is she going to be able to tell me all the amazing accomplishments that she's had in life that I should maybe follow suit or take lead from? She might be able to tell me about her OnlyFans or her ballerina class. Or this one time she went to the mall or a theme park with her little sister. But other than that, absolutely not. And that's fine, because we don't want men and women to be the same. That's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a woman or a female or a girl not being able to advise me, and all three of those are different, I'll explain in another video, on the ways of life or business or other things, right? See, as much as I love myself, I would not want to date myself. I don't want to date a girl who has masculine qualities or is a monster the way I am. Like, what the fuck? Look at this. Like, come on now. Are you serious? What? I'm not trying to go out with that, right? I'm me for a reason. You're a man for a reason. It is good for your girl in your life to not be a polar opposite, obviously, right? If you like Star Wars and she calls you a geek and walks out the room, probably not the girl you should be with, right? But you don't want a girl that is so much like you that you look in the mirror and see the same person. Not if you're a man. If you're like one of these wishy-washy femboys, then maybe that is something you'd want. But a real man doesn't want to look at his woman to see a real man. Just fucking say that one more time to yourself and see how ridiculous that sounds. A real man doesn't want to look at his woman and see a real man. See, the truth is that the Matrix gets upset with men like myself, Andrew, Tristan, Fresh and Fit, and the others when we tell you the truth about the world and the way that men and women interact. Because, let's be honest, not even being a jerk, not even being overly aggressive here, but your family has failed the fuck out of you. And so has the schools. Their teachings, they're not trying to help you. The schools are literally, actually trying to trick and fool you. Take that in for a minute. And why? It's because if young men are controlled, then the war is lost. The ruling class, in one way or another, has always wanted to keep power. And I absolutely understand this. And let me be the first to say I 100% endorse this. I believe in a hierarchical system. Most of you peasants out there, I mean, just look at Twitter to see the masses and droves of peasants who shouldn't even be allowed to vote, who shouldn't even be allowed to legally own a keyboard. I'm telling you, some of these kids on Twitter, or people, or whatever you want to call them, trash of humanity, should have to go through stricter checks to get a keyboard than most gun owners do to get a gun. And I mean that. I'm not exaggerating. I'm being 1,000% honest. But the point is that if they can control the youth, the men coming up, because men like me, we're not going to start just coming out as fucking gay. You're not going to look at a population of men above 25, 28, something like that, who are just going to start coming out as, oh no, I guess this is my new gender. No. We understand the way things are supposed to be. But if you catch a young boy who's coming up in the world, who doesn't know any better, and then you teach him all the wrong ways of life, you can raise a homicidal killer, a murderer, even a rapist. You can turn him into an absolute fabric of twisted, unbelievable, disingenuous falsehoods that they want to bestow. But you can't do that with someone who's an adult, someone who's been living life, who understands how things actually work. We're a lost cause, a lot of you who are watching this as well, as far as being indoctrinated into their, let's say, ill wills. But you know who isn't? 11-year-old Timmy. He's ears wide open, mind expanding, learning all sorts of shit. Timmy hasn't even been on a roller coaster. He's not tall enough to ride one yet. There's a whole world that he has no idea about. And if you start feeding him bullshit into this unbelievably destructive narrative, then he'll gobble it up because it's the only food he's been given. If you want to rule the world, you start with the most mass and weak population that you can. And there's always new kids being born every day, and they are the weakest of humanity. They can grow to become the strongest, or they can stay the weakest. And that's what they're doing with the schools. That's what they're doing with your kids, your nephew's kids, your friends' kids. You might not have kids, but you know someone who does, and that's what they're doing to their kids. Because the most dangerous thing in history, oftentimes, is the truth. Let me clarify that one more time in case you might have just had this playing in the background, not paying attention. If young men are controlled, then the war is lost. And the reason they're doing it, the reason they're attacking individuals like myself, is because we're here to tell you the truth. And all throughout history, oftentimes, many times, the most dangerous thing has been the truth. This is a fact. See, the title was a little bit fanfare, right? Because I said that you were going to be next for being the target. But me, I'm largely unaffected by the assault in your society. I don't consider myself part of your society. First off, that's something that you and the masses have to partake in with your bus trips and shitty media and a whole slew of things that are being destroyed that you enjoy. Me? That's a different story. I mean, sure, Mark Zuck might not like me, but what's he going to do? Ban my Instagram? Hollywood might have an agenda, but what's that going to do? Save me from having to buy a movie ticket? Western video games, they might be fucked, but what's that going to do? Give me more time to focus on my body, my mind, my business, my money? See, my favorite forms of media are fine. Anime and Eastern video games. Sure, Capcom, Square, and Tecmo might have taken a huge bite of the SJW propaganda pie, but there's tons of Japanese developers out there that are priming the ecchi, fan service, or even a little more, you could say, with their games. Rule 34, anyone? Not to mention that anything from Korea is going to have the hottest girls in games that you have ever seen. In fact, my first ever MMO was a huge Korean title that had some huge Korean tits. Although they were on a dark elf, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, huge and huge. That's what we're talking about here. Huge. And not far behind them is China. And their characters and designs are tippity top. Excellent, S+, just like Korea. They're not far behind, even in the slightest. So, my world is fine. It's your world that's on fire. And the matrix of your world will occasionally throw out fire towards me or anyone else who tries to help you. That's why it's your job to wake yourself up, take the hand that we're offering to you, so that you won't be further enslaved more than you already are. You either escape now, or you become buried in the pages of history as a weak man who lost the war in the West. And let me remind you, the war is only happening in the West. This isn't happening in Muslim countries. It's not happening in Asian countries. It's not happening in any country that actually seriously matters as far as a huge world order or world changing or world civilization. It's only the West where they're just dumbing you down, making you weak as fuck, and making you almost irrelevant. Sure, they haven't gotten there yet, but you see the battle taking place right in front of you. So you're either in or out on this. You can't half-ass this. Speak up. Be a man. Speak up, have a voice online against this type of thing. Speak up in your community, with your friends, get them on board. Make sure they're seeing videos like this one, because this is how the war gets won. Not by being quiet, not by being a strong, silent man either. When war pops off, we need the battle cries. It's been that way all throughout history, and will be that way all throughout time. God Kinetica! See you in the next video. Stay shredded and unleaded. I see you and get those girls bedded. Yeah!